Hi, welcome to the She Moves Mountains podcast. This is your host, Kamala Murphy. Thanks for joining us today as we talk about some of the juicy stuff we women experience that makes this life journey truly amazing. You know, the nitty-gritty, the love, the loss, the falling down and rising up, the getting lost and finding our way again. To our hearts, our happiness, and to the awareness that we can and do move mountains. Thank you for joining. Hi, this is Kamala. Welcome to this episode of the She Moves Mountains podcast. So glad you're listening in. Today I wanted to talk about something that I think a lot of women are experiencing during the isolation period for this coronavirus. And that topic is beauty. I know for me, I so miss going to my hairdresser and getting my hair cut because I'm feeling really shaggy right now. I know a lot of women who color their hair, their roots are showing. And I think it's a little embarrassing to be bringing it up because it's such a first world problem, but I think a lot of women are experiencing some anxiety about it. We have a lot of our identity and perceived value wrapped up in how we look. And I know it's such a first world problem, right? When there's so many things that are, really more important, but it weighs on us, I think. I know it weighs on me. And I've been thinking a lot about this because I'm really realizing that because so much of our identity is wrapped up in how we look, especially women who have gone through life and been recognized as pretty or beautiful. And as we age, our bodies change, our looks change. And I think there's a bit of a grieving that we go through when we're no longer young and pretty. I know that's been my experience. It's kind of like, oh my God, I never really thought that I was that vain. But I realize now that when I look in the mirror and I see the lines and I look like more and more like my mother, it's hard. It's hard. I feel sad. I'm grieving that I'm no longer young and pretty. Anyway, so as I've been thinking about this and recognizing that so many other women might be experiencing the same thing, especially with, being shaggy, not getting our hair colored or our facials, the things that we sort of appreciate that make us feel more beautiful or prettier again, lit up inside. As my mother would say, the feeling like $1,000,000. It's like those things feel good. So I was talking with someone and about, how we're sort of indoctrinated in, our beauty is how we're valued. And we were thinking a lot about Disney and the fairy tales and all that. And I was thinking about Snow White's evil stepmother, and especially the part about her looking in the mirror and mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. And I was thinking that maybe, she got a bad rap for saying that, because what if she was a woman who was aging, who had always been really beautiful. And in fact, maybe Snow White's father married her in part because she was a beauty. So she's looking in the mirror and seeing Snow White, who's young and beautiful, and she's having a little bit of a grieving process about, gee, I used to be the prettiest woman in the realm, and now I'm not. So it must have been hard for her. So maybe that sort of, and maybe she was crazy. Of course, this is a fairy tale, but maybe she went off her rocker a little bit because she had her identity wrapped up in being the fairest in the land, right? So you can, kind of see maybe the man telling the story saw this as something evil. And maybe it really wasn't. Maybe she was just perimenopausal and looking at herself and seeing that she was changing and that she didn't have the young and pretty identity any longer. She could no longer identify as young and pretty or young and beautiful. So I'm sort of taking a new look at the evil stepmother. Maybe she really wasn't all that bad after all, because certainly at some level I have experienced it too. And again, I know that grieving our youth and beauty is not the most important thing in the world right now. There are plenty of things that are far more important. But you may be experiencing this, and it may weigh on you at some level. And that's okay. It's normal. As we age, things just work differently. We don't have the hormones and the things that make our skin firm and keep our hair the color that it was. We go gray, our skin thins and sags and boobs sag and all of that. And it's important for us, no matter what, to eat healthfully and exercise, to take care of the body temple. But I think it's also important for us to be really mindful of how we think about things and to change our mindset, to recognize that these changes are just, they're part of life. And we're just going through another stage of this life. I think our attitude is so important. That's why this idea of flambe and feeling like $1,000,000 and feeling fabulous is important, because when we're happy, the happy shines through. And we may have extra lines and a little more middle and a little saggier boobs, but we can still have the light shining through. So I think there's the mindset and the attitude, the connection with the divine that can really create a glow or an essence about us that is different than we had at 26 or 30 or 35, but we still have an inner beauty because we're loved, we're valued for who we are, because God's made us. And we get to be the beloveds of the divine. So if you are feeling like you really missed your hairdresser or your esthetician, and know that although things may be opening up soon, which would be awesome, but you want to have that sense of inner well-being and inner beauty, I really invite you to download the I Feel Fabulous assessment and cheat sheet. It's just for fun and for opening our eyes to more of our inner beauty and changing our attitudes so that and mindsets, so that we can feel fabulous, feel that flambe, and feeling like $1,000,000, because isn't that what we really want? Anyway, I hope you'll download that assessment and cheat sheet. I'll put the link to it in the show notes. I invite you to take a couple of gentle, deep breaths and just bring the light of the divine in or awaken it because it's already in us. And just remember throughout the day that you are loved and valued no matter what. And the good looks that you have, the beauty that you have is just icing on the cake. Yum, huh? So thank you for listening in today. I send you love and blessings. Until next time, take care. You've been listening to the She Moves Mountains podcast, coming to you every week. If you're a woman who wants to move mountains in your own life, please make sure to subscribe or follow this podcast. And if you've laughed or gotten teary or smiled knowingly, thinking, oh yeah, that's me too, please go ahead and rate the episode with 5 stars. It'll be a feel-good thing to do. Thanks a bunch. Lots of love and blessings to you. This is Kamala signing off. Until next week. Take care.